Hey Chapel classes, what's going on? It's Mr. Andre here. I know you guys are really sad that we're not having school today, so I decided to go ahead and put a video together so you can see me. Is everybody doing all right? I'm doing great too. Just left the gym. We had nachos tonight and they were pretty good, if I must say so myself. So hey, we're gonna get at this thing right after this video. Well, after you get done seeing me, there will be a little PowerPoint presentation. Make sure you get out a pencil, something to write with. Make sure you use neat handwriting, because when I check your binders Thursday or Friday or whenever we come back, I'm going to be looking for neat handwriting. I have instructions on every slide and I'm going to walk you through. So hope you enjoyed looking at me. See ya. Alright everybody, let's go ahead and get started with the lesson for today. We're going to be taking a look at the New Testament. Today is February 17th, 2016. Go ahead and make sure that you write your first and last name in the upper right hand corner of your paper. The date, 2/17/2016, and the period, the chapel period that you have. So if you're first, second, third, or fifth period, go ahead and put that in now. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Some of this you've already learned. I've talked about it throughout the year. Some of it's going to be new. But just do your best to follow along. And there are instructions on some of these slides. So make sure you follow those instructions. All right, so let's get at it. All right, so your memory work. You're going to go ahead and write this 10 times. I know it's a lot. Oh, I don't want to write it. 10 times. Memory work. All scripture is God-breathed and is useful for teaching, rebuking, correcting, and training in righteousness. That is 2 Timothy 3:16. And as you can see from the instructions at the bottom of the slide, you want to go ahead and write this 10 times. So if you need to go ahead and press pause on the video, go ahead and do so. And yeah, write that 10 times. That is your memory. We will test on that scripture on Friday. So press pause, write it 10 times. Thank you. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to use the dictionary or the internet, Google, dictionary.com, something of that nature, whatever you need to do, and define the following words: teaching, rebuking, correcting, training, and righteousness. If you need to use a word like teach instead of teaching, or rebuke rather than rebuking, that's fine if you need to use that definition. But you're going to also go ahead and skip a line or flip your paper over and write the definitions for teaching, rebuking, correcting, training, and righteousness. I'll check those out later on. Well, whenever we come back to school. All right, next, the main goal of the New Testament. This is a rough statement, but just to give you an idea of the purpose for the entire New Testament, it is to give an account of the person and work of Jesus the Messiah in order that people will surrender their lives to him. I mean, the Bible itself is about bringing us all, humanity, God's creation, back to him. Sin has separated us from him spiritually and physically. And the New Testament is God's proclamation of what the work that Jesus did in order to bring us back together with him. So there you have it. Go ahead and write this slide out word for word, and we'll go on to the next section. Skip a line. Next, there are 4 major parts to the New Testament. We've studied this since the beginning of the school year. You're going to go ahead and write this slide, including the heading, 4 major parts. First part is the Gospels. That's Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Second part is Acts, or the church history. Third is letters or epistles. And fourth is prophecy. As we all know that is the book of Revelation. So if you need to press pause in order to write this slide out, make sure you do so, because you're going to need this for your test. We're going to test on these few slides next Wednesday, so make sure you have these notes because I may or may not allow you to use some of them. We'll see, but you will definitely need them for study time. The Gospels give us an accurate account of the life and ministry of Jesus, as I spoke before. It helps us to understand who God is. You know, before Jesus came to the earth, God probably seemed far and distant to God's people. He might have seemed angry. He might have seemed, I don't know, just distant. But when Jesus, Emmanuel, God with us, when he came to the earth and demonstrated his personality, his emotion, his passion, his love for us through his acts, we just really have a powerful picture of who our Father is through his Son. And so the Gospels help to solidify our faith and bring us into contact with who Jesus is. I recommend that you take a Saturday or a couple Saturdays and just sit down and read through the Gospels without stopping. Just read through the whole thing. And I pray that as you do that, that you will come in direct contact with the person of Christ. And you'll understand the passion that many of your teachers have. As you're reading through the Gospels, you may notice that there are some differences. The Gospels tell the same basic story, but they each tell it from a different perspective with some different details. I mean, just like each one of you is watching this video or you're listening to my voice, we're all having a different experience, if you will. We'll all remember different things. If you witnessed a play or something, each one of us will see different things about the play, but we would all have the same basic story about how the events took place. So then that's what you're going to find in the gospel. All right. So it wasn't written by just one person. Remember, all scripture is God breathed. And as we did the activity last week with the balloons, and each person, we blew up those imaginary balloons. Remember, we blew our breath into those balloons, and then when we let the air out of the balloons, it went out. And in the same way, God breathed the word into the spirit of man, and the spirit of man brought it to the mind of man, and got man's mind brought it to paper. All right, so that's how the Gospels got to us. All right. Each gospel has its own theme, and we'll look at that word theme here in the next couple weeks to get a deeper understanding. This is a rough outline of some of the major themes that are found in the Gospels. Matthew stresses that Jesus is king. Mark shows that Jesus is also a servant. Luke wants us to know that Jesus was a real human being. And John reveals that Jesus is not only human, but divine. So go ahead and write this slide word for word. Press pause on the video if you need to, and make sure you have this for your notes. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to have you read Matthew 5. Please be prepared to discuss it Thursday and Friday, and you will also be receiving a packet with some further details about Matthew chapter 5. So go ahead and read that. And that is it. So I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Thanks for tuning in to the first e-learning chapel session. Wasn't it great? See you later. Bye.